In the basement of the Penn Museum in Philadelphia, there is a clay tablet about the size of a paperback book. Its catalog number is CBS 145. It was excavated from the ruins of Nippur, the religious capital of ancient Sumer, in the late 1880s by an expedition from the University of Pennsylvania, the first American archaeological mission to Mesopotamia. The tablet is not on display. It has not been on display in living memory. Most visitors to the museum Mesopotamian galleries pass within 20 feet of it without ever knowing it exists. What is written on this tablet is not just text. It is a doorway into a forgotten world, a description of a place the Sumerians called Dilmun, a land described as the garden where the gods went to rest, a realm where there was no sickness, no death, no predator that hunted, no widow who mourned, a place untouched by suffering, untouched by time, a place that existed before humanity itself and remained hidden yet reachable for those who knew the path. For more than a century, scholars dismissed Dilmun as pure mythology, a symbolic paradise like Eden, like the Greek Hesperides, like the Celtic Tyr, Nog, a beautiful idea, but nothing more, a poetic illusion created by ancient minds. The tablet was translated, classified as religious literature, and quietly stored away, forgotten by all except a few specialists. Then everything began to change. In the 1950s, a Danish archaeologist named Geoffrey Bibby began excavating a small island in the Persian Gulf, and what he uncovered started to challenge everything the academic world believed. Layer by layer, the sand revealed a lost civilization, temples rising from the earth, royal tombs stretching across the landscape, fortified cities, and evidence of a vast trade network linking Mesopotamia to the Indus Valley. The island was Bahrain, and the discoveries were impossible to ignore. The text on CBS 145 is part of a larger Sumerian composition known as Enki and Ninhursag, when reconstructed from tablets across museums in Philadelphia, Istanbul, and Berlin. The poem opens not like a myth, but like a map. It gives direction, distance, and geography. It places Dilmun across a body of water downstream from the mouths of two great rivers, the Tigris and the Euphrates. It describes travel measured in sailing days from the southern Sumerian coast. And when those ancient measurements are converted into modern terms, they point with striking precision to one location, Bahrain. This is where myth begins to look like memory. Bibby excavations between 1953 and 1972 confirmed that Bahrain was once a thriving Bronze Age civilization flourishing between roughly 2200 and 1600 BCE, exactly the same period when Sumerian and Babylonian texts describe active trade, with Dilmun pottery, seals, and artifacts match descriptions found in ancient merchant records. The conclusion seemed undeniable. Dilmun was real. Bahrain was Dilmun. The mystery appeared solved. But the story does not end there. Because when the tablet is read carefully, when every line is taken seriously, it describes something more than a trading hub. It speaks of rivers rising from the underworld, flowing upward as fresh water. It describes soil so fertile that crops grow without being sown. It describes people untouched by aging, untouched by time. At first glance, this sounds like poetic exaggeration, but two of these details are astonishingly real. Bahrain is famous for its natural freshwater springs. The island sits above a massive artesian aquifer, and fresh water pushes upward through the seabed, bubbling into the surrounding salt water. Ancient traders described it as one of the wonders of the world, sweet water rising from the bitter sea. The tablet description of rivers from the underworld is not fantasy. It is observation. The fertility is also real. During the Bronze Age, Bahrain was unusually green and fertile compared to the surrounding desert. Its date palms and cultivated lands would have appeared almost miraculous to visitors from the dry plains of Mesopotamia. What seemed like divine abundance may have simply been a dramatic contrast. But the third detail remains unresolved: a population that does not age. Modern archaeology dismisses this as symbolic language, a standard feature of paradise myths. But there is one fact that refuses to fit this explanation. Bahrain contains the largest concentration of Bronze Age burial mounds in the world, between 75,000 and 170,000 tumuli spread across the island. The site of Ali alone holds tens of thousands of graves. The density is staggering, far beyond what the local population could explain. The common theory is that Bahrain served as a regional necropolis, a sacred burial ground, where people from across the Gulf brought their dead. But this raises a deeper question: why transport bodies across the sea when sacred sites already existed in places like Erid and Nippur and UR? Why choose foreign soil? The tablet offers a chilling possibility. If Dilmun was believed to be a place where aging did not occur, then burial, there was not just ritual, it was preservation, it was transformation of belief that even in death one could exist beyond decay, beyond time. The burial mounds may not just mark graves, they may represent a belief system rooted in something far older. In 2017, a team of Bahraini and European researchers proposed a project to analyze ancient DNA from the burial mounds at Ali. Their goal was simple: determine whether the buried individuals were local or came from distant regions. The results could confirm or challenge the necropolis theory. The project was never approved. There was no official rejection, no explanation, just silence. The proposal moved into indefinite hold and eventually disappeared. No alternative study has replaced it. The remains are still there, untouched, unanswered. And now the mystery expands even further, because Bahrain is not the only location that fits the ancient coordinates. Slightly further south and east lies a region now beneath the waters of the Persian Gulf, a region that during the Bronze Age was partially submerged, and before that was dry land, part of what archaeologist Jeffrey Rose described as the Gulf Oasis, a vast habitable landscape that existed before post-glacial flooding reshaped the region. If this theory is correct, then the earliest references to Dilmun may not point to Bahrain alone, but to a much larger lost world now hidden beneath the sea. Bahrain may be only the surviving fragment, the visible remnant of something far greater. A drowned paradise. The idea is speculative, but powerful. It suggests that Dilmun was remembered, not imagined, that it was a real place transformed by time and mythologized by those who survived its loss. The mainstream explanation remains strong. Bahrain, as Dilmun, fits the majority of evidence: trade, records, archaeological remains, and historical timelines all support it. But the deeper interpretation lingers. A submerged landscape, a lost origin, a memory preserved in clay. The tablet remains in Philadelphia. The burial mounds remain in Bahrain. The DNA remains untested. The seabed remains unexplored. And the ancient text ends with a haunting detail. The survivor of the Great Flood was taken to Dilmun, where the gods granted him a life like their own in the place where the sun rises. The text never says he left. For voice-over delivery, read this slowly with pauses after key phrases. Use a deep, calm tone. Build suspense. Gradually emphasize words like forgotten, hidden, ancient, lost, and unanswered. Keep the pacing steady and immersive, letting each idea settle before moving forward. This script is designed to pull the listener deeper, with every line building curiosity and mystery until the final thought lingers in silence.